On Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, one local charity sees success in donations but is still in need of help as demand grows. And a fire burning in El Campo will share the details of why it may be difficult to extinguish. Plus, an American doctor describes what's happening in Israel as the invasion in Gaza City continues.
And for us, we're looking for plenty more sunshine and maybe some spotty afternoon rain chances before those chances rise next week. And we've got a cool front. All that in the weather coming up.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads. We're full of celebrations here this morning. We're celebrating Parker's 2-year on-air anniversary, and we're also celebrating Don Brubaker.
That's right. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, Don. We're going to be celebrating all of that later, of course, because, well, if you're tuning in with us this morning, I'm sure you've noticed. If you haven't, step your foot out the door. We are looking very nice again this morning. Looking live in Victoria, it's 69 right now for the air temperature, but dew point's still a degree off at 68, bringing us that high humidity of 96%, which is technically enough to see some form of like real light fog out there somewhere this morning. That's why the computer says 4-mile visibility, but you can see on the camera not really that foggy. So because we got some mixing happening in the vertical direction in our atmosphere with high pressure nearby. So don't worry about fog. Otherwise, get out there and enjoy it. It's lovely, y'all. Upper 60s, low 70s for all of us right now. Got some warmer 70s next to that warm Gulf water, but the rest of Texas is following suit, 60s and 70s all across the board, except the Panhandle because they had a cool front. But something else that's looking pretty nice to us is yesterday's rain. Some of us caught as high as 3 inches of rain in northern Jackson County. Coming our way again today, we're going to have another chance. It's going to be a little bit higher, so if you're sending your kiddos up the door this morning, pack them the sunglasses. I'll let you decide on the umbrella. We'll have those details next.
Crews from 3 departments are battling a large debris fire in El Campo. The El Campo firefighters are getting help from Louise and Dan Vang volunteer departments, but it's one big challenge. They have to haul every drop of water to fight the flames. Drivers on the north side of El Campo are asked to stay alert. Trucks will be running back and forth to hydrants. And another reminder, the county-wide burn ban for Wharton County kicks in just after midnight. Another Victoria student arrested and accused of making a threat. Around 12:30 Wednesday afternoon, school resource officers say they were notified of a student trying to leave campus at STEM Middle School. Deputies found a 12-year-old student who seemed agitated. Officers said he had been in a verbal argument with another student and allegedly threatened to use a weapon against her. No one was hurt and no weapon was found. The student was arrested for making a terroristic threat and taken to the Juvenile Detention Center. The Salvation Army of Victoria's Love Beyond banquet was a big fundraiser. The banquet on September 2nd at the Victoria College Emerging Technology Complex netted over $52,000 for the Salvation Army. That's over 16% more than last year. There were over 250 attendees at the banquet. And the needs of the Salvation Army of Victoria continue to grow. The food pantry there is very low, and some items from the food bank of the Golden Crescent are no longer available. The Salvation Army provides 3,200 meals per month. The men's shelter also saw a 126% capacity each night in August.
Our programs are growing. We're doing more and more as we want to do more and more for the community. But that means we have to raise more and more money.
Captain Kenny invites the public to take a tour of the Salvation Army of Victoria at 1302 North Lewis Street. And we have a unique view this morning from the front lines of the war in Gaza. One American doctor who's no stranger to war zones claims this is on a whole new scale. ABC's Perry Russum has the details.
An American doctor is giving us an inside look at the crisis in Gaza right now.
I would predict that things are going to get much, much worse here.
Dr. Michael Falk, a New York trauma specialist with the charity Med Global, is working at a hospital in southern Gaza. He says Israel's ground offensive in Gaza City, launched this week to target Hamas militants, has already led to 2 mass casualty incidents at his hospital. Falk describes the so-called green zones in Gaza, which are supposed to be safe for civilians, as anything but.
One of my residents who I worked with yesterday went home last night, and his wife's family, aside from his father-in-law, were all killed in the tent beside them. And that's technically in a safe zone.
An estimated 400,000 people have fled Gaza City in recent days. The Israeli military saying it destroyed 25 high-rise buildings in one day, calling them terror towers used by Hamas. Falk has worked in war zones in Iraq and Ukraine. He says Gaza right now is worse than anything he's seen.
As soon as the winter starts to set in and the water starts running freely, you're going to see a lot more communicable diseases. If the wintertime comes in, you'll see more respiratory illnesses. And the situation is just going to get worse and worse because people are chronically malnourished.
Any ceasefire deal in exchange for the hostages still being held by Hamas seems out of reach. Adid Hoyle's son is among the hostages believed to be held somewhere in Gaza City. She worries Israel's new ground operation is putting his life in more danger.
That means that he's in more danger than he was maybe before. Save my son, end the war, and bring Alon home.
Dr. Falk says the hospital he's working at is meant to hold 300 patients, but now has more than 1,000. Perry Russom, ABC News, New York.
3 officers are dead and 2 are gravely wounded after a shooting in central Pennsylvania Wednesday. Sources say they were trying to arrest a suspect and serve a restraining order involving his girlfriend. Officials say the shooter was wearing camouflage and waiting in a cornfield when officers arrived. They add that the suspect is dead after law enforcement returned fire. Federal agents are investigating. And here are some of the top headlines in the Queer Record. DeWitt County invests in a data security plan, and Ruby Begonia races paycheck in the Minnesota leg of the Great Gobbler Gallop. You can read these stories and more by visiting DeWittCountyToday.com. And remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here. It is 6:37 on our Thursday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. I'll walk with a purpose that's touching lives in unexpected ways.
A CDC panel is set to meet today to discuss the vaccines currently recommended for children. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the details and why the meeting is causing controversy.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, you heard me say that we have another chance for rain today. So coming up next, I'll tell you just when I think all that might be here. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Thursday, Friday Eve, I like to call it, because tomorrow's Friday. Y'all get excited because the weekend is right around the corner, and the same with the rain chances, which we'll look at here in a second, I promise. Because starting out with this morning's radar, you can see it's pretty clear out there all across the Crossroads this morning. It does look like it's sprinkling a little bit along I-10. That's because the radar beam is being refracted towards the ground because it's so humid this morning. So no rain this morning and also no fog, so don't worry about that. I would worry about some sunglasses today because we're going to be looking mostly sunny once again. You can see that here on the future tracker. Here's 9 a.m. looking pretty sunny out there, y'all. Noontime, still looking pretty sunny. But sometime around 1 or maybe 2 p.m., we're going to start picking up just a few passing clouds that will start forming off of that daytime heating. And we'll also pick up a few showers with chances today at 20%, 20. That'll be happening somewhere between 1 p.m. all the way up until about 5 p.m. this afternoon. As you can see, maybe a few spotty showers trying to form with that daytime heating commencing before that starts clearing up around 5 or 6, and we're looking pretty mostly clear for this evening and overnight tonight. And the clear skies tonight will let us drop our lows once again down to the low 70s and upper 60s for some. But underneath the sun today, for most of us that don't see rain, looking at about 93 here in Victoria, which is 3 degrees above where we're supposed to be. And everyone else looking at the same thing, low 90s, maybe even mid 90s in our western counties. So you'll stay safe in the heat. It's going to be with us for the next several days until rain and a front get here next week. We'll look at that next.
Today, a CDC panel will meet to discuss vaccines currently recommended for children. It comes following criticism when RFK replaced several members of the advisory panel. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the story.
This morning, an advisory panel at the CDC kicks off a 2-day meeting where members are expected to discuss and vote on vaccines currently recommended for all children, including those for measles, mumps, rubella, chickenpox, and hepatitis B. The COVID vaccine also up for discussion. Such a meeting rarely draws attention, but Health Secretary Robert Kennedy recently replaced members of the panel, and many of the new members have questioned vaccine safety or spread misinformation about vaccines. Yesterday, former CDC Director Susan Menares told a Senate committee that Kennedy fired her after less than a month on the job because she refused to pre-approve new vaccine recommendations without evidence.
And he said and elaborated on this for some period of time that there is no data and evidence, there is no science, and that I needed to commit to signing off on each and every one of those recommendations. And if I could not commit to that, I needed to resign.
To be clear, he said there was not science or data, but that you still expected you to change the schedule.
Correct.
Health Department officials say her testimony contained factual inaccuracies and left out important details, and accused Menares of acting maliciously to undermine the president's agenda. Following the testimony, Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, who's also a doctor, shared this warning for parents.
If the vaccine advisory panel makes recommendations to change the childhood vaccine schedule, should the American people have confidence in that decision?
No.
Democrats also voicing concern.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. must resign. We have to turn him into a healthcare pariah in order to make him a detriment to the Trump administration. And I think that's the only way, ultimately, that we're going to save the lives of children and adults in our country.
Several major medical groups warn any recommendations shifting vaccine schedules or eligibility could spark more confusion, trigger shortages, and potentially cost lives, pointing to a measles outbreak this year that killed 2 children. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you trust the current CDC vaccine advisory panel to make safe recommendations? 29% of you say yes, 71% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll, and you can also leave a comment. Cuero ISD teamed up with the Pilot Club of Cuero for the 2nd annual Suicide Prevention Walk. Students, teachers, first responders, and community members all showed up to take part. Local counselor Lacey Timponi shared an important reminder. If you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Talk to somebody about it. Definitely a professional would be great to get a suicide assessment, but talk to somebody that they trust, a trusted adult, a parent, a friend, somebody that's went through it. They need to talk about how they feel.
If you or anyone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, you can contact 988. That's a suicide and crisis lifeline, and it's available 24 hours a day. And you can also text 988 or go online at 9888lifeline.org. The Victoria Symphony Society struck a new chord, mixing music with Western flair. Its annual fundraiser returned with a theme, Ballads, Boots, and Bling, for an afternoon of fashion, food, and fundraising Wednesday. Guests bid on silent auction items, checked out a fashion show, and even got to stock up on homemade jellies at a brand new country store addition to the event. Event chair Marilyn Dufresne says it's one of several events that the Symphony Society hosts each year to keep music alive in Victoria.
And all of that, the proceeds from that also go to the symphony, everything that we do. So the symphony is part of it, and then the other part of it is the women, the camaraderie, the fellowship, the friendships that are developed. We all love each other.
The event chair shared that months of preparation went into the themed tablescapes and decor as well. To see a gallery of the tablescapes, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com. And here are some of the top headlines in the Port Lavaca Wave. Calhoun County Commissioners discuss Precinct 1's future, and the Lions Club returns to Port Lavaca with a new launch. You can read these stories and more by going to portlavacawave.com. The time now, let's take a look at our clock up here. It is 6:45, but just about 6:46 on our Thursday morning. Still to come on Sunrise. We learn about a vibrant 3-day event packed with film screenings, art walks, and workshops that are sure to spark your creativity. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Danielle. Happy birthday, Danielle, from the VEDC.
Happy birthday, Danielle, and also happy birthday to Jake. Happy 14th birthday, Jake. Mom, Dad, and Emma love you so very much and wish you the very best birthday. Love you.
And happy birthday to Jason Sudeikis, the Ted Lasso star and Saturday Night Live alum. turns 50 today.
Oh, happy 50, Jason. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo. And you want to do it?
Well, I want to wish Dawn a happy birthday,
Dawn,
but I
yes.
also want to wish Jody a very happy
Jody.
birthday too. So hope y'all get to celebrate. And it's just now 6:47 on our Thursday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
That's right. Happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw this 7-day forecast just a few moments ago, and you saw a few things that likely caught your eye, or maybe you heard me talking about it. We've got another cool front back in the forecast, y'all. It's going to be here probably Wednesday night through Thursday, next Thursday morning, and it should drop our highs, I'm thinking, down to the 80s, lows back into the 60s. If we get real lucky, we might even be seeing the upper 50s. But we wouldn't be so that lucky. But looking at before that, you can see rain chances will rise nicely to 30 and 40%, especially from Tuesday and Wednesday. But we'll hold on to the chance for showers Sunday and Monday. But it's all that will be coming from the tropics, if you believe that, not the Atlantic, to which we do still have a few waves out there. Here's tropical wave number 1. It's actually like right there, right there. And the other one is right here, right there actually, set to come off to Africa soon. And we're going to be watching those two waves for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Not so much Gabriel because that's going to go out into the deep Atlantic. But in the Pacific, this is what we're watching for the next few days. Not this one, although that might be a concern for Mexico. We're going to be watching that right there. Those are the remnants of what was Tropical Storm Mario, because over time, going into the weekend, that is going to split off into a new system and collide with an upper low system coming out of the North Pacific, and then start sinking south as it comes off the mountains. And there it is right there. For just about all of next week, we're going to be dealing with rain and a cool front. And we're going to look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
I'm now joined by 2 artists who are a part of the upcoming Viva Texas Film Festival. I'm joined by Elias and Shira. Welcome.
Thank you, Carolina. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, it's so great to have this festival. The tradition of a film festival continue here in Victoria, and we just want to give a big thanks to Carissa and Claire, who are our film mothers, right? Who brought us this festival after the height of COVID. It's so needed. The community, the art exposure is needed.
I'm ecstatic to be a part of it. I'm joining them as an actor. I am also a judge for the Viva Texas Film Festival. This will be my 3rd year, so I'm very excited to be part of it. And I have very big shoes to fill today since Carissa couldn't be here, but ecstatic to have a 3-day prestigious event that brings in filmmakers and art and culture to the city of Victoria. It starts on September the 26th and it ends on September the 28th. And I'm going to have to pass it to Elias because he's kicking everything off.
On Friday, we'll be having a kickoff of the arts, so to say. We'll be having 3 large events, which will be the Viva Texas Film Festival, the VTX Art Walk, and Hasta Los Huesos, and a new addition to all the 3 events. Typically, it was just a film festival, but this year we wanted to throw something in that'll bring something for Hispanic artists and promote local businesses as well.
Well, I can't thank him enough for partnering up with us. What a wonderful way, again, to bring more art and more culture to the Viva Texas Film Festival, and what a wonderful way to kick things off. I mean, can I tell you about this exciting schedule?
Definitely.
And these are just highlights, just little highlights and snippets. On Friday, we will start with our friend Elias here. Then we are going to have a special showing of the film Ride or Die, which is by LA filmmaker Joshua Schultz, who filmed it here in Victoria. And we had cast and crew from Victoria, including our very own award-winning filmmaker Juan F., who won an award. He's won awards twice now at the Viva Texas Film Festival. He's always elevating the culture and the art here in Victoria. Then we're going to have some film screenings. The next day, which is Saturday the 27th, we're going to have film screenings. There's going to be a super fun pop crawl. And Sunday will be at the VISD Fine Arts Center, where we'll have more screenings, and then we'll also have fabulous free workshops. And I'm talking screenplaying, makeup for TV, hair for TV. I'll be doing one about how to get an acting career started here, right now, without any gatekeeping. So I can't wait. And that's just little snippets of everything that we have prepared for this 3-day event.
I'm already mentally signing up for the TV makeup and hair. I'm still figuring that one out.
Yes.
It's hard. It is. Well, thank y'all so much. Can't wait to see y'all out there for the Viva Texas Film Festival. Thank y'all for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Well, coming up, don't go anywhere. News to know before you go. We'll be right back. The Trump administration has ordered the removal of information on slavery from national parks. That's according to the Washington Post. This historic photograph is one item that could be removed. It's called the Scourged Back. It's believed to be of a former slave named Peter Gordon in 1863. The Post says this is part of an effort to scrub national parks of what the Trump administration calls corrosive ideology. The House has given lawmakers more money for personal security in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. It's an extension of a pilot program that started in July after 2 Minnesota state lawmakers were shot in June. It gave members $20,000 a month for home security and $5,000 for personal security. The extension doubles the amount for personal security to $10,000 a month. Classes resume Wednesday at Utah Valley University, a week after conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed on the school's campus. An increased police presence was still visible on campus. The school has gone through a phased reopening with staff and faculty returning to campus Monday. A vigil for unity will be held at the school Friday afternoon. The Texas General Land Office oil spill team is inviting the public to a free event focused on protecting our coastal waters. It's called Ready and Willing, happening Friday, September 19th from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Sea Drift Civic Center. Visitors can learn about keeping our waters clean and oil-free, plus get important information on storm and hurricane preparedness. Agencies taking part include the Coast Guard, the Sea Drift Police, Calhoun County Emergency Management, and Texas A&M experts. And now, let's get a look at our sunrise with Parker. He's telling me that I'm matching with the sunrise.
You are matching indeed, Carolina. Look at all the pink in the sky this morning. And something you may have actually noticed, notice how we're seeing a little bit less and less sunshine. It's because we're losing daylight. September, we're getting closer and closer to fall, y'all. 68. That sure is an indicator we're getting closer to fall. Get out there and enjoy it, because we are all in the upper 60s and low 70s this morning, with the exception of the Gulf Coast. Y'all are right next to that warm Gulf water. So y'all get out there and enjoy the cooler weather before we're heating up again. Thinking a high of 93, maybe 94 in Port Lavaca, with that 20% 20 chance for spotty showers between 1 to 5 p.m. Same thing for all of that in Victoria. 93 high, maybe 94. 89/90 at noon, and the same thing in Cuero, maybe a tad warmer, 94 today. So y'all stay safe in the heat. It's going to be around for the next few days before rain chances rise next week, and we've got that cool front.
I'm looking forward to the rain. Thank you, Parker.
Yeah, of course.
I thank y'all for being with us this morning. Be sure to join Shauna, Dawn, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Make it a great Thursday.